category. Well, moving on to digital signage now for our next category. Digital signage is all about giving shoppers virtual simulations of products and services to influence purchase decisions and interact with shoppers in a more engaging way. Nama Salzman-Dror, VP Business Development at Vertex Ventures, joins us as the moderator for this session. And we also welcome YCD Atmosphere's CEO and owner, Jacob Leib, and Global Head of Urban International at Urban Outfitters, Stefan Laban.
Thank you, Ben. So the global digital signage market was valued at 17 billion in 2018 and projected to reach 32 billion by 2026, which is pretty soon. So in this session, we are going to dive into the opportunities as well as the challenges of this exciting market. Jacob, we'll start with a short introduction of your company, YCD.
Hi, thank you for giving me the time. And hi, my name is Jacob Leib. I'm the owner of YCD. YCD was founded in '99, and ever since then, she is building an immersive CMS software that can manage huge scales of devices globally and in Israel. In Israel, we're also the biggest integrator that deployed all of our solutions inside the market stores, inside the convenience stores, inside the retailers, in corporate communication. And last year, in the end of last year, Microsoft built her first shop outside of US, and she built it in London. And I want to share with you, if it's okay, a short story that CNBC did on that. And you can see the immersive experience that Microsoft is bringing to our customers.
We're outside Microsoft's new flagship store location on Oxford Circus in the center of London. This is a famous shopping area lined with big brands, including Apple just down the street. When you think of Microsoft, it's probably software like Microsoft Office that comes to mind.
Sorry.
We're outside Microsoft's new flagship store location on Oxford Circus in the center of London. This is a famous shopping area lined with big brands, including Apple just down the street. When you think of Microsoft, it's probably software like Microsoft Office that comes to mind. Not exactly something you'd buy on the main street. So we're here to get a first look inside the store to see what it's all about. Right away, you can tell Microsoft is trying to make this more than your regular electronics store. It includes interactive video walls, a customized McLaren, and a business center. The store spans 3 floors and a total of 21,932 square feet, so it's pretty big. It's the first of its kind in Europe, but there are similar flagship locations in Sydney and New York City. One main purpose of flagship stores like these is to drive interest and buzz around the company versus generating sales on the spot.
It's all about the experience. Of course we want to sell stuff, but that's not how we measure the success of the store.
So along with the demos and experiences, Microsoft is also showing off its growing list of devices. The company made its name in software, but it's pushed into hardware in recent years. For example, revenue from its Surface products increased 21% last quarter.
So the Surface hardware that you see all throughout the store, that's going to be a big, big seller. There's no doubt that a physical store is actually very good for choosing physical products, and that's part of why we're here.
What we're seeing here is some of those big tech giants move into physical retail, but they're being much more selective in where they want to be. So in primary locations like Oxford Street, where there's sustainable levels of footfall and the experience is much wider than just retail, is one of the crucial ingredients for success. Consumers more and more want something meaningful when they go into store, and that can be about entertainment, about the environment, even about escapism. And this is what Microsoft are really trying to create.
So, as we can see, Microsoft is pushing very hard to give immersive experience to her customers. And although she is usually selling products through vendors, but she wanted the end customer will get an immersive experience inside her stores. And this is what we do in Israel, and this is what we sell globally.
So I think one of the main questions that I want to start with you, Jacob, is that how digital signage can drive more revenue to a retailer?
It's a great question. And the answer for that is we need to analyze the clients and their habits inside the stores, and then to give them the right content at the right time inside the store. Now we are saying it's when you're going to a shopping center and you see most of the screens are showing their public figures on their screens, but we need to do something that will be very accurate and give the clients inside the store not just the fashion that they're putting on the fashion walk that they're putting inside the screens, but we want to give them also something very accurate to their needs.
Mm-hmm. So, Stefan, as a retailer, I have, I want to ask you, it's not the first time that retailers are talking about and using digital signage. So my questions for you is, one, what do you think of the digital signage market overall today in 2020s? And second, there are so many companies in this space. So how do you choose the company you want to work with? And I mean, what is the X factor you're looking to see in startup companies? Stefan? Okay, I'm not sure Stefan is with us. So Jacob, I'll ask you another question, if it's okay. I mean, how do you see Generation Z? I mean, in terms of how they perceive brands, what they're looking to see, and how can the visibility of messages within the stores affect the brand and its perception among these potential buyers?
Okay. We all the time thinking that people only using their phone and they will not look inside screens outside of their iPhones or mobile phone. But what we see with these particular children, that they are accepting the screens inside the store if they're accurate to their needs. So they will take their eyes out of their phone and they will look at the screens, and you can impact on them because they're not watching television, they have on their system ad block. So you cannot reach them. But inside the store, inside the environment that they came inside the environment, they are much more open to see if the content is accurate to them. They are much more open to see, to buy, to increase their purchases because of those screens inside the store. So they are very open and it's doing very good for them. But the content must be very accurate and very exact to them.
I'm sure you're seeing some statistics that shows that this is the case.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Stefan, great to see you today. Thanks for joining us. So it's not the first time that retailers are talking and using digital signage. And as a retailer, I have two questions for you. So first, how do you see the digital signage market overall? And second, you're seeing a lot of companies. Every year, there is a lot of innovation that's happening in these organizations. So how do you pick the companies you want to work with? I mean, what is like the X factor startup needs to have in order to work with you?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So I really believe, with digital signage, you have to be careful that you don't end up with a forest of signs that doesn't really do much for your store. So I do think it's critical when you choose a company that they really get under the skin of what you do and what you stand for. And, Jacob's Microsoft example in London, I'm based in London, of course, I'm seeing the store. I think that is very different. It's a technology company from a fashion retailer, right? So I really think to pick the right company, you really need to have the company understand what you do, what your model is, what you use signage for. Is it for image or is it for promotion? So I think there's a very deep understanding between two companies. And I do have a question for Jacob when it's okay. So Jacob, so today I do think many companies use video in their stores, right? That use the digital signage where they have to have a big video running. So with your product, how does your product set itself apart from all the video that is running? Or what is different and how does your product deliver KPIs for a retailer?
So regarding our CMS, it has this ability to manage on a scheduler, very smart scheduler that can give the customers the ability to change the content on a second or daily or hour, whatever you choose. And after we are seeing the store and understanding the footprint of the client, we can give a lot of trigger to the system to create the right content at the right time to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
So usually now the customers are putting the same video over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you anything that is unique. And if you want to increase your sale, you have to build the right content at the right time to the right person. And this is what our CMS does.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Nothing is more boring than a digital signage that shows the same stuff for a month or so. How often can you change? Can you change every half hour, every hour? And who would do that? Is that the retailer who manages the content?
So the retailer give us the Gantt of the products that they want to push and sell to the customer. And according to that, our offices build all the content and build the right way, the right size, the right font, the right message that we want to push to our clients. And according to that, we can do it on an hour basis, minute basis, whatever we like. So it's flexible and it gives you the full scope, whatever you want to do in each size, in each zone, in each country. If we are talking about Microsoft offices, Microsoft stores, they have a couple of those, almost 100. And in each store, part of the content that you will see on the screens, you will see the surrounding of the environment of that specific store. So if it's in Sydney, you will see view of Sydney, what's going on outside of the store, and you will see it. And it's give you the full flexibility and according to that, the KPI.
So I think we have 1 minute left. So, hey, my question for you is, so how does your ideal store look like? How much digital sign is too much and what is just right? And how do you flex this from Microsoft to Urban Outfitters or Zara?
When I ask my grandmother, how does she want her tea? She always answers, not too hot, not too cold. So you have to give something in the middle. It cannot be only screens or without screens at all. So you can, it has to be, to each company has its own DNA, and according to that DNA, you have to build the exact amount of digital signage that will be inside the store.
Yeah, very
Jacob,
good.
Stefan, we have 30 seconds left. So I'd like to thank you. Thank you for Retail Innovation and Microsoft. And there is no doubt that after hearing you two, digital signage is not a trend anymore, but more business philosophy. So passing it back to Bing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naama. Thank you, Jacob, live from YCD Atmosphere. And